In Guinea, a roadmap for the local transformation of bauxite was imposed last year on mining companies. The objective is to allow the country, which holds the world's largest reserves of this ore used for the production of aluminium, to capitalize on its exploitation. But economists and civil society have doubts about the implementation of this government decision. This is a report by Sayon Koroma. Take a look. Guinea has been mining bauxite for 50 years. The country has 1/3 of the world's reserves of this mineral. And every year, Guinea makes a great feat in production, which has risen from 20 million tons in 2016 to 87 million in 2022. A performance achieved thanks to the modernization of production methods. The GAC Guinea Alumina Corporation has, for example, reached a production capacity of 13 million tons in 2021. And the company has big ambitions, exporting 18 million tons of bauxite per year by 2024 is the dream.
C'est un processus de développement continu.
It's a continuous development process. Since 2019, we have improved our production process by training employees and purchasing new equipment.
Par la formation de nos employés, par l'achat de...
Everything I just mentioned has allowed us to increase our production from 2019 to today.
D'augmenter notre production de 2019 à aujourd'hui.
So that together we can all benefit from this project.
For Guineans to benefit fully from these financial windfalls, the subsidiary of the Emirates Global Aluminium Company wants to innovate. One of the company's priorities being the construction of a refinery of an annual capacity of 2.4 million tons.
Oui, c'est dans notre convention de base.
Yes, it's in our basic agreement. We're currently following our retro planning at the state level, so it's on track, and it is being followed.
Le chronogramme est suivi.
The development of this program to build bauxite refineries on site in Guinea is an injunction from the transitional government. Last April, the 10 bauxite companies operating in Guinea were ordered to build alumina processing units. To date, 5 groups of mining companies have formed and submitted their retro-planning.
Les compagnies qui ont pris des engagements vis-à-vis de l'État, on veut vraiment qu'ils...
For the companies that have made commitments with the state, we want them to comply. And His Excellency, the President of the Republic, has already summoned them and asked that each of these companies submit an implementation schedule. This has already been done. So we're analyzing it and also discussing with them to see what synergy we can adopt with these companies to accelerate even further.
Accélérer plus vite les besoins et l'objectif à court terme est...
And the short-term objective is to have at least one extension or creation of a new refinery in Guinea within 3 years.
Ça, c'est vraiment une transformation.
This is a major transformation.
On veut devenir...
And in the long term, we want to become the world leader in the alumina sector, as we are today in bauxite.
By building these refineries, Guinea could quintuple its mining revenues. Bauxite, which brings in $500 million to the Guinean state yearly, could increase to $2.5 billion.
Aujourd'hui, la contribution du secteur extractif.
Today, the extractive sector's contribution, if we take budgetary revenues, is 30.71%. Bauxite constitutes between 60 and 80% of this revenue. So why not transform bauxite into alumina instead of just being a supplier of raw materials to other countries' factories? If bauxite, for example, sells for $30 to $40 a ton, alumina is around $1,500. It is a question of transforming this raw material into a semi-finished or finished product to add value and jobs for young people.
However, the establishment of refineries involves several challenges, notably the control of production factors and the mobilization of capital for investment in an institutionally fragile country.
Dire à une entreprise brusquement par la thérapie du choc.
Telling a company suddenly by shock therapy, as we say, to produce an investment plan could also increase this risk factor for the company. You see that the incentive to make the investment can or must be made only in a climate of trust. Confidence in the future, in what will be done, in the realization, and also about the sustainability of their investment. If this is not the case, it becomes a constraint that can become a downside.
Also, the establishment of refineries generates extremely high costs, especially for energy. In Guinea, the energy deficit is acute, hence the need for the country to finalize the construction of the Suapiti hydroelectric dam with a capacity of 450 megawatts, in addition to Kalita, which has a capacity of 240 megawatts.
Guinea does not have sufficient energy for domestic consumption, let alone a surplus that can be made available to refineries. The idea of creating refineries in Guinea is realistic, but not in the short term. Realistic in the sense that we have all the potential to set up refineries here. But the country's economic conditions and the conditions for building these refineries require some time. There are other constraints, such as those linked to funding, to local legislations with the state, but also obstacles related to the use of energy.
To obtain operating permits, companies usually promise to build alumina refineries. But 50 years after the first bauxite company was established, the country has only one refinery. Roussel Friguiers Fria alumina plant in the west of the country, 160 kilometers from the capital Conakry. This plant is the first on African soil.